10-Minute Jazz Lesson Podcast, episode 436. Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 436 of the 10-Minute Jazz Lesson Podcast. We are rounding out 2024, getting ready to go into 2025. These are going to be our last couple of episodes, and we'll be finishing up our etude that you are all hopefully learning by ear, 8 measures at a time. So episode 434, episode 435, we learned the first 16 bars. I hope that coming into this episode, you've got those first 16 bars down. You can pull them off almost without thinking, because this week we're going to add 8 more. We'll end up with 24. And then for our last episode of the year, we'll go into the final 8 and end up with 32 bars. Now, a couple of notes before we start this episode. This week in particular, with the material that you're about to learn, it may become very, very evident what chord progression I've been working with all month. A lot of you might already know what chord progression we're going over, and a lot of you might have no idea. All those things are fine. But here's what I want to say at the beginning of this episode. If you know or you don't know, please don't let that influence what you're doing. Remember the task at hand. The only thing that I'm trying to get you to do by the end of the month is to be able to play 32 bars flawlessly and make it so that the way you learned that was 8 bars at a time, all by ear. That's it. That's the only thing I want you to get out of this. So let's say that you're somebody that does know what chord progression this is. Don't start thinking about, oh, geez, he played this over this bar that has this change in it. Oh, is that a tritone substitution? Oh, is that altered? What's he doing here? Is he using the flat 9? Please just try to get out of that frame of mind and focus on the aspect of learning and executing. That is what I want you to get out of this. You will have the rest of your life, if you want, to go back and pick through all of this material, figure out exactly what I was doing, maybe what I was thinking. Don't concern yourself with that right now, okay? Heard a great term from Jerry Bergonzi in an interview that I was listening to today. He said, so many people have it together these days from the neck up, meaning it's all in your head. What I want you to focus on is the full being, which is the head, the heart, the fingers, the ears, all that stuff, right? We don't need to contextualize everything. In fact, I think that's something that plagues a lot of us. We're immediately looking for context. We're immediately looking to make sense of everything, to categorize it. That's not what this is about. Okay? So that's it. That's my pep talk for today. As this becomes evident what form this is, don't let your mind go there. Just concentrate on the task at hand. By the end of the year, you should have this whole etude down. You should be able to play all 32 bars from memory without any mistakes, without having to stop. That's it. Okay. So let's get into it. This new material is going to be the next 8 bars. Let's listen to a couple of iterations of it. I'll play one iteration on saxophone and one iteration on keys. And then once we have heard that, then we'll listen to the first 24 bars all together. So here's the new material. All right, so there it is, the latest 8 bars. Now let's just hear how it fits in to the full, at this point, 24 bar statement. And I'll do the same thing. I'll play it once on keys at a little bit of a slower tempo, and then I will play it once on saxophone at a little bit of a faster tempo. Here's the full 24. Okay, so there you have it. The Patreon members will get the whole bunch of tracks, just like we've done. You'll get a bunch of tracks on keys, a bunch of tracks on saxophone, various different tempos, and you'll get the 8 bars by itself, the new 8 bars, and then you will get the full 24 bars. So you really have all the tools you need at your disposal to just make sure that you have total fluency with this melodic statement. That's it. You don't need to listen to me blab anymore. You just need to get to work on memorizing this. And memorizing these types of statements, memorizing a lot of them, and really making sure the execution is there just goes such a long way to building your muscle memory on what really quality jazz melodic statements sound like. So get to it. That's my word for today. So you heard me mention Patreon. That is the way that we support ourselves with the show. We don't do any advertisements on the show. So instead, we just rely on listeners like you that get something from this to show that you appreciate it in the form of supporting us with a small monthly donation. You can find all the information on what you get in terms of educational materials for the various donation amounts. And we use the Patreon platform. So you can go to 10minutejazzlesson.com, click on one of the Patreon banners, or you can go to patreon.com, search for the 10-Minute Jazz Lesson Podcast. You get all the information, you sign up, you get instant access to everything. You can get started working on this episode or any of the other episodes that we've done right away. Quick shout out to some new patrons this week. Thank you to Nathan, Eveline, Myron, and Peter. Thank you guys so much for signing up to support the show. Of course, to the over 350 members we have over there. Thank you. I can't say it enough. We couldn't do this without you. And if you're listening to this and you're new to the show, I hope you join us over there. So again, 10minutejazzlesson.com, click on one of the Patreon banners, or patreon.com, search for the 10-Minute Jazz Lesson Podcast. Hope everybody's holiday season is going well, and we'll see you with one more episode for the year. Have a good one, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.